Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. It's been quite a while since I've made a Minecraft video, so, honestly, I've been quite excited about making this series for a while. This is going to be an introduction to Minecraft for beginners. It's the first video I've posted in over a year. I'm hoping to improve the video quality, so if you enjoy, please comment down below. Please like, please share, subscribe. It really helps the channel. And this is all recorded live on Twitch, so the link to that will be in the description should you wish to come and watch. But without further ado, I'm going to leave it to Video Earth to take things away. Thank you for listening and enjoy. Anyway, welcome to this Minecraft world. This is in fact a pretty standard Minecraft world, so I can sort of teach people a bit of how that works. Over there in the distance is an abandoned shipwreck. Now, basically, with Minecraft, there's a few things you gotta do first. And the first and most important thing, of course, is getting wood. Not that kind of wood, you saucy devils. This kind of wood. Punching a tree. Literally the first thing that basically anybody who has ever even heard of Minecraft knows how to do. Also, don't leave a tree floating. That is the second rule of Minecraft. Don't leave trees floating. And once we've cut this tree down with our bare hands, effectively what you want to do a lot of on the first day is exploring around and just getting to grips with the world. It's especially important that you also get a bed, but I will show you what to do if we don't get a bed. And in fact, I will purposefully avoid sleeping in a bed, even if I do get a bed, just to show you what we do if we don't have a bed and we can't find a village, which is the other aim of this particular thing. Effectively, this is how to survive your first night, and this is, of course, the water. The ocean is big, and the ocean is quite scary. As you can see up there, it's inhabited by that zombified-looking creature. That's a drowned. It's an underwater zombie mob. Or underwater undead mob. I'm going to assume, by the way, that everybody has at least a basic knowledge of the general workings of Minecraft, and doesn't need me to explain it all for them. Please stop drowning. Yeah, if we stay underwater for too long, we will start drowning. I'm going to grab some of this spruce wood. Just so we can get a little bit extra stuff. Now, this is an abandoned shipwreck. Basically, I can't see where that block went. There we go. This structure has a few chests in it. And basically is going to be how we survive in the beginning. Okay, and these... No, let me out, please. Yeah, unfortunately, we have ourselves some leather armor. These shipwrecks give decent loot. They'll give you some, like, basic leather armor. They'll give you some food items. As you can see, we've got wheat, which we can use to turn into bread. And it's also given us a nice bit of riches, so iron nuggets, iron ingots, etc. And a cosmetic item, the armor trim, the coast armor trim. So these will all be very useful things in the coming period. There is then also, most importantly, for our purposes, this treasure map here. And all of these books. Now, I need to ascend very quickly because otherwise I'm going to drown. Ow. Thank you very much. Right, we are going to turn those... we're going to turn on craftable recipes just to make everything easier. We're going to make ourselves a number of sticks and a crafting table. Now, we actually have a pretty good helping hand in the beginning. The first thing we're going to do is obviously use the wheat to craft some bread. We've got 8 sticks and we have a load of wood. I'm going to just turn all of this into acacia planks. We need this wood, and we're going to need it quite quickly. Fortunately, this build has given us some iron. It's been quite generous to us. if you obviously haven't started the game with this sort of thing, all you really need to do is just get wood, go and start mining. In this case, we can actually go and make ourselves a shield from the get-go, which helps defend us from any basic sort of attack. And then we can start making some things. An iron pickaxe is pretty recommended. I'd probably also recommend getting an iron sword, since those are actually quite useful, but for the time being, we'll just get the iron pickaxe, and we'll go from there. Actually, before I go, I'm also going to make myself an acacia wood boat, so that I can traverse the seas a little easier in the future. We're not going to get too much here, because at the end of the day, this is meant to be a first night thing, and I'm wanting to try and demonstrate to people how to survive when you've not got so much equipment. And unfortunately, this seed has yielded me a pretty nice start. I say unfortunately, quite fortunately, this seed has yielded me a pretty nice start. But basically what you generally want to do on the first day is go get some wood, make yourself a wooden pickaxe, and go start digging down for some stone. I'm also going to grab some various items along the way that I can just pick up, like sugarcane, which will be useful for making paper and books. And then here we have, well, this forested area. But most importantly is this cave. We're going to mine up some cobblestone. Specifically, what you will probably want to do is get yourself around about 16 or 17 cobblestone pieces. The reason for this is because it can be used to craft yourself a furnace, a stone sword, a stone pickaxe, a stone axe, and a stone shovel. I do not... And if you get 8 more cobblestone, you can make a second furnace. So I'm going to basically just grab myself a fair bit of cobble here. About... yeah, 26 will do. Again, we're not looking for as much as you might need because of the fact that we already have ourselves an iron pickaxe for mining things. So this is actually quite superfluous. But at the end of the day, that's what you're going to want to use. And then we can put our crafting table down. I'm going to make myself a stone sword, a stone axe, a stone shovel, since I mentioned that you can make those. And I'm going to make myself 2 furnaces, which leaves me some cobblestone left over. I don't really have much of a way of fueling them aside from the acacia planks, but hey-ho. And as you can see, I have all these lovely little things. But yeah, so within like 10 minutes, I have already got a little piece of armor. I've got myself some pretty basic gear. I have a shield. I have an iron pickaxe. These are some luxury items that I might not have necessarily gotten. I also actually have a decent amount of food, and as you can see from this jungle here, we're about to get a load more from these melons, so this is a really nice, quick food source. You get a lot of melons because they don't really give you a lot of your hunger back, and they don't really give you a lot of saturation either. Saturation being basically the thing that prevents you from going hungry for a period of time, but we're going to pick up all of these melons just in case we don't find a significantly good food source for a while. But yeah, so the first night I would classify as its own, yeah, basically in Minecraft there are a number of different phases of the game, and the first and probably most important phase of the game is the first night, and how you react to, you know, the first night of the game. And how you deal with that basically depends on what you do during the daytime. Now, for some unforeseen reason, there happens to be a zombie chilling here. I'm assuming it's because, you know, he's come out of a cave, but he happens to be wearing copper armor, and conveniently he has dropped the copper chest plate. Copper is, in fact, the latest armor to be added to Minecraft, and it can make for an okay early game armor source. I'm going to show you that you don't actually need it, but if it makes you as a newer player feel more comfortable to wear it, I say go ahead. In fact, I probably should have made a pair of shears, but again, we're not planning on necessarily getting ourselves a bed on the first night, so this doesn't matter too much. And in fact, I think this will be a pretty nice limiting factor for our progression today. That's a lava pool. We don't want to go near the lava pools. We're not trying to speedrun the game or anything. Although a bucket of water would be quite nice for, you know, protecting myself and MLGs and such. Killing animals is quite useful. I personally don't kill pigs, not out of any religious preference, I might add. It's more because of Technoblade passing, but that is a personal preference. Genuinely, it genuinely does not make a difference to the game if you don't kill pigs in Minecraft. It actually doesn't. And it's a very minor point. I'm also going to take this blue flour and turn it into a piece of dye so that I can have a blue bed. Because, again, kind of point. Yo! No way the mic works again. Yeah, what's good, Leaf? Welcome. Welcome in, man. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? No, I'm going to stick it out. And what's good, Squire? My bad, last stream I had to go and forgot to say something. No worries, mate. We are currently doing some recording for YouTube. Effectively, this is a for beginners playthrough of Minecraft, so I'm not trying to go, like, really fast-paced or anything with it. Per se. But yeah, as you can see, the sun is about to set. Now, conveniently, we are right next to this hillside here, so all I'm going to do, given it is the first night, is just burrow into this wall. Now, you may notice, quite astutely, that, I do not have any light sources. He says coming across coal, but, you know. Yeah, almost like a year ago. But yeah, so I've just come across a load of coal, so now I'm gonna mine it up with this pickaxe. Incredible. There's actually quite a lot because coal veins are pretty big. So, yeah. And what I can do with that is actually make some torches and put down some torches nearby. Now, sunsets actually last a pretty decent while. We currently also have a resource pack on, which basically is a vanilla Minecraft shaders pack, which is pretty cool. It's called Vibrant Visuals. They added it about a year ago to the game, and it's quite nice. I think it is about as good as a number of mod packs that do shaders, truth be told. But yeah. Anyway, so this is basically going to be where we're staying for the first night, is just in a hole in the wall. That's all you need to do. In fact, now that we have a light source, I can block off both blocks of that, and we can quite literally just chill here. Now, I have nothing that I need to cook really aside from this mutton, and as you can see, I only have 2 pieces of wool. Effectively, what we're going to do now is we are quite literally just going to cook up this mutton. We now have even more food. And of course we have some planks. Now, there are a bunch of different things I could technically do with the 4 remaining iron I have here. Given that we currently have a sword, an axe, and a shovel, I think we can probably use this iron on some sort of armor. So I'm going to use the iron to make boots. Perhaps this is quite an unorthodox choice. I think a lot of people would have said go with an iron sword or an iron axe. Or, in fact, better yet, what I probably should have done is gone with a bucket. Or shears. There's a number of things that you can do with the iron, which I probably picked the worst option of. But there we go. I'm picking the worst option. I don't know why. But yeah. Anyways, basically what we are going to do is that, well, there's really a lot of things we can do. We can look, there's a cartography, like, there are a bunch of different crafting recipes, and given that we, you know, have some time, given it's nighttime, I might as well explain what the goal of all of this thing is going to be. Oh, that's really nice, Livette. Nice. But yeah, so basically the plan with all of this is to split the game into 3 separate phases. The early game, which we are currently in, the mid-game, and the end game. Funnily enough, the end game is in fact a bit of a pun, because you have to go to a place called the end. Effectively, the early game lasts from here until I get full iron armor with a full set of iron tools and have prepared to go to the nether, by which I mean getting the resources to actually make a nether portal and make an enchantment table. The middle game basically ends when I have full diamond armor, have gone to the nether and grabbed all sorts of potions and stuff, or like gotten the mechanisms to actually go to the end. And the end game basically ends when I get full netherite armor, have beaten the ender dragon, got the dragon egg, etc. But yeah, so there is currently a skeleton walking above us. So, effectively, yeah. Yeah, so we have a lot of food, and what we've managed to do, as a bit of a recap, is, well, we got ourselves some food, we got ourselves some torches, we even have this treasure map. Now, I neglected to do what the treasure map was saying earlier, on account of the fact that, I was a little busy trying to explain things. But what we can do is we can go and take this treasure map we found in the ship, go to that red X that you might be able to see under my RT button on the right side, And we can dig down at that location, and maybe we'll find a treasure chest there. Now, obviously, our armor is so-so. We have, 4 of the 10 chest plate bars of armor full. So effectively, we have 8 points of armor, as illustrated by what the equipment is saying. When on feet, +2 armor, +2 armor, +4 armor. Now, the leather trousers are enchanted with protection 1, so they give slightly better defense against attacks. So we have a decent level of armor, although this chestplate is probably going to break after a short amount of time. This shield is going to be the main way that we protect ourselves. So, there's really nothing left to do here but wait, to be honest. Because as you can see, it's still dark outside. So I'm going to sit in here, and basically I will get back to you once the first night is passed, because this is the boring bit of the first night. Okay, so anyways, we are back now. So, it's been about a few minutes, and as you can see, the sun is now rising. We can get out of this godforsaken hole. And what we're going to do is we're going to pack up everything and move house. I did not pick up that crafting table. Okay, we can get out of here now. We have successfully survived night number 1 of the game. Now, you may notice that just because it's morning doesn't mean there won't be mobs. And in fact, these mobs aren't burning yet because it technically isn't day. Now you can see they are burning, if they're out from under shade. You can see the zombie burns in the daytime, and that's because most mobs burn in the day. Or at least, most of the basic mobs burn in the day. That little sound, by the way, was because I just reached 5 experience levels. The XP levels will be important later, but they're not really useful right now. Okay, so I mentioned that we could go and find some treasure, so let's go back and try and find some treasure today. We've got so-so armor, we've got some gear, let's go and try and find this. Much appreciated, Leaf, thank you. Okay. It's gonna take a hot minute, though, to actually find this, because it will require a lot of me running. And actually, one thing that I could do is go and grab the chests that were in that boat. Yup. Yeah. I'm gonna go grab the chests that were in the boat, the sunken treasure ship, and then I am going to turn my boat into a boat with a chest. The boat with a chest is a very useful thing, because it basically allows you to traverse the water, while having some... Oh, that's a trident! That is a trident! I'm getting out. Never mind, that is a trident. That is a trident drowned. Nope. I'm out. Peace. Yeah, if that happens to... That is why you don't engage the drowned. The drowned sometimes get tridents, and they hurt. They hurts a lot, in fact. They hurts a very big lot. Anyway, we are going to temporarily put this map in our offhand so that we don't have to look back into. And we are going to get out the shovel. So, effectively, what we're going to do is we're going to line up with this X. This is about it. And we're just going to dig straight down. Normally in Minecraft, you don't dig straight down, but conveniently, this has yielded a chest. And what a chest this is! This has a number of emeralds in, iron, it's got 2 diamonds, which will be important for later. As you can see, a bunch of recipes are popping up over here in this corner. It also has 2 potions of water breathing, as well as gold ingots, a heart of the sea, which is used to create an item called a conduit, as you can see, again, up in this corner, as well as some prismarine crystals, which can be used to craft a whole host of things, some more food has also been acquired, and we are going to go and grab this chest. I'm going to now build back up. This is a potion of water breathing. When drank, it allows you to breathe underwater for 3 minutes without needing to surface. This is quite useful if you're trying to do underwater exploration in structures like an ocean monument, or indeed exploring a shipwreck without needing to surface, but I would argue that's a bit of a waste of the potion. Now, this map is basically useless to me now, because all it was being used for was trying to find that treasure, so I'm just going to drop it. We don't actually need it anymore. I'm also going to combine... I'm not going to combine it, because I don't have my boat. My boat is over here. Now, if I just break the boat and pick it up, I'm going to craft an acacia boat with a chest. This also removes, you know, some of the items in the inventory, which is quite nice. And I'm going to grab a little bit more sugarcane. Now, I reckon if I travel this way, we might find something cool. And literally, that's all that's all really the first few days are about in Minecraft, is just traveling around, seeing what fits, and where, more importantly, you'd like to set up a base. Now, we didn't get those chests from back over behind us from that shipwreck because of the trident round, so we're just going to carry on, and we're going to make chests when we reach our destination. What I am noticing is some rather large mountains over there and over there. I say mountains, these are like old generation mountains. These are some very funky mountains. But I can see a nice savanna acacia plateau over there, so we might honestly settle down at the acacia, and we might honestly make our first base there. It's a pretty nice area, there's some open water bodies nearby. Or alternatively, I could just sail over here. I might sail over here and just explore here for a second. We haven't found a village yet, but we have found a pillager outpost. He says, as if it's fucking auto-cued, if you'll pardon the French. And there's doggos! Oh my gosh, there's doggos! Yeah, there's some wolves here. I don't have bones to tame them, unfortunately, because cooked meat does nothing. I also don't have the actual inventory space to be looting that pillager outpost, so what I'm probably going to do is make a mental note of it being roughly in that direction, and I'm going to basically just sort of swim across here. Where we put our first house is really not of any consequence. Basically, all I'm going to end up doing is moving it eventually later down the line, but for the purposes of playing right now, and for the purposes of having a base, I would like to make a first house somewhere in this area, because it's a nice flat place to build a base. There's actually a lot of coal in the local area as well. There's armadillos, which is quite nice, and there's dogs, so that's good. The one downside that I see with this area is that it is quite hilly terrain, and the hilly terrain is going to be a little bit problematic in terms of trying to build a house in a suitable location. But for the time being, I'm going to nestle my quote-unquote base camp over here. Now, you may notice, of course, that, again, we don't have a sheep. This is going to be a problem. If we can't find another sheep, and thereby, you know, some, like, way of having a base, I'm going to have to dig another hole into the side of a mountain here. So, we basically need to get on that pretty damn quick. But first, I'm going to make us a double chest, and that will actually leave us exactly enough wood to make a bed once we have found those other things. Conveniently, I can also make shears and a bucket with the iron that I found, so I'm going to actually do that. Instead of just, like, you know, wasting time doing other things. And I'm then going to also put a load of this into here. Just for now, and then I'm going to sort things out in a second. Yes, this is a little bit of a dump of an inventory, but it is what it is. And I usually put my valuable staying with me items in this portion of the inventory. Yo, what's good, brother? I thought you were playing Civ. No, this is going to be quite dire, because basically I'm about to be beset by about 50 bajillion different mobs. I could put another hole in the wall. That's a good point, actually. I could do that. So I'm probably going to do that. I'm going to put another hole in this wall. Doo-doo-doo. Cowering away in a hole. Again. Right. Let's start. That was an Enderman. You don't want to fight an Enderman, personally. I'm actually going to grab a single one of those torches. Come with me. Come fresh on my insert Hobbit hole joke here. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, insert Hobbit hole joke here. Right, thank God, right. Okay. Okay. Right, I'm gonna Quick, grab this. Right, I'm gonna block up the door again. There we go. And now we're gonna sit again and wait. Basically, if this happens to you every night you don't have a bed, do this, and if you don't have a bed by the end of like 4 nights, phantoms will start spawning, and phantoms are basically flying things in the sky that swoop down and attack you. You don't want to be fighting a phantom. Just get out of there if you're fighting a phantom. Ultimately, I'm probably not going to put really any of this stuff away, but what I am going to do is organize my inventory again, so that the valuable items that I keep on my personal times are in this portion of the inventory. Sure. Ooh, wait. I see a rare opportunity. Come on! Come hither. Nice. On a serious note, I'm gonna pop out. This is not something that I would normally advise doing, especially at night. Because of that, that's a skeleton. Back in the cave I go. But yeah, so we have 2 diamonds. Now, those diamonds are not immediately going to be going on things. You may notice in the crafting table that some of the things I can't craft are diamond-based. We're not going to be making those yet. What we are going to be doing with them eventually is turning them into an enchantment table, if I can find that in this menu. Jesus Christ. Yeah, here we go. An enchantment table. We need some obsidian for that. But before we get the obsidian, we need to make a diamond pickaxe, because that's the only thing that can actually mine the obsidian. So I need a 3rd diamond to do that. Which means I'm going to have to go mining, which is good, because I planned for us to do a mining segment at some point. Now, I'm going to remain in here for a bit. And I'm hoping that when it eventually becomes day, I can find one final sheep, make that godforsaken bed, and then I will probably be calling that there for this video, because at the end of the day, the goal of the first few nights is to get a bed, and it's about the struggle of getting a bed in the beginning. Now, technically speaking, what I really should have done was made a pair of shears and use that on a sheep instead of killing the sheep. As it stands, I haven't done that. Which is fine. In fact, given the fact that, you know... Oh, it's turning to dawn as well. But given the fact that I've made this in here, I may as well just keep all of this in here at this point. Like, it's too much hassle moving things back and two. So it may as well be staying in here. I'm going to put my food over here. I don't really have torches, per se, but I'm going to... I'm going to actually get 8 coal. And I'm going to split the remainder between here and here. This is a skeleton, it shoots arrows. Pretty self-explanatory. There we go. And I got a bone from it. I'm going to see if I can get myself a dog with the single bone that I've got. Oh, that's a witch! That is a witch! That is a witch! That is... Jesus bloody Christ! Ow! 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 Very ow! Very, very ow! You do not want to be engaging a witch. Do not engage the witch. I'm not even going to do any Enderman fighting as well. This is poison. It lasts a while and hurts. And if the witch ends up... yeah, it takes you down to only 1 heart now. But yeah, that is a witch. Do not fight the witch. The witch hurts and will throw potions at you. I am on hard mode, but yeah, she hurt. She hurts a lot. Okay, I'm gonna head over here now. Hey, doggo. Okay, it didn't accept the bone. That's unfortunate, but whatever. Okay, I'm also not really so prepared to try and engage a full-ass pillager outpost. I'm just here for a sheep. This is the first time in the playthrough that we've also gotten oak wood as well, which is quite interesting. Okay, give me you, give me those, give me 32 torches. And now you lot are going to go into my inventory, and I'm going to run around and try and see if I can find a sheep. There's a closer sheep. Give me shears. Basically, what we're going to do next video, once we've made the bed. Basically, next video, what we're going to do is, honestly, try and get geared up enough to take on that pillager outpost, because you can do it, but at the end of the day, I'm not here to assume that, you know, there are loads of, like, skilled PvPers, right? This is meant to be for beginners, so I'm not going to begrudge anybody for not having the greatest of combat prowess. I don't have the greatest of combat prowess, for God's sake. Okay, let's go back to the house and get ourselves this bed. I don't know why I've just done that. Okay. Actually, wait, don't I have 3 remaining acacia? We might as well use that instead. You know what I mean? Let's use up the acacia. Let's use up this blue guy. And we are going to craft ourselves the bed. And it's going to be a blue bed. And that is our respawn point set. And that's... the witch despawned in 2013, yeah. And that basically is it, to be honest. That's it for the first video, everybody. We have made a base, got a little hole in the wall, survived our first couple of nights, got ourselves some okay armor from scrounging, got ourselves some decent some pretty basic tools and weapons, and got ourselves all of the real essentials to start off pretty strong, even without a village, which is good. So yeah, thanks everybody. Twitch chat says bye, and I will now leave you to editing Earth for some closing messages. Thank you, Video Earth. I would like to spend this closing segment firstly thanking you if you've managed to watch this far, and secondly just quickly explaining what the series generally is going to be quite akin to. It's going to be a lot slower just for the purpose of explaining things easier. I get that rapid content is the order of the day at the minute, but I personally really don't like that, and I'd rather do something a little bit unique, something my own, and something a bit slower paced, for people who just need to put things on in the background. But anyway, that's generally what this series is going to be. I'm planning on uploading once every few weeks or so, at the absolute least, so there will be a somewhat steady stream of stuff coming in, and I will keep everybody posted about the next episode. But until then, thank you once again, everybody. Again, my Twitch is down in the Discord. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. It really does help, as I said in the beginning. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and goodbye.